Hello, y'all. It is time to breathe again on the latest breath of fresh air, Shorty, with your host, Charles Taylor. So, as you can see, I am wearing my Texas jersey because it is that time to do the college football preview. So, this is the abbreviated style for this season. As I had said on the last Shorty, the webcast probably won't be coming back till mid to late October, but we are still going to get our picks in for who we think are going to win the Power Five conferences and who will be the four teams in the college football playoff. So I will do mine today on Tuesday, and Patrick Brackett will be in with his version come Thursday or Friday. I think Thursday. But without further ado, let's get right to it and start with the SEC because that is where the champion lies, the two-time defending champion, Georgia Bulldogs. And I think they will at least win another SEC East title. There are some good teams in there. Tennessee should be good. Kentucky should be solid. South Carolina is coming, and we'll see about Florida and what they're bringing with their second year under Billy Napier. As a matter of fact, I think they play Utah at Utah come Thursday night, so that'll be a nice test for them. But I don't see anybody beating Georgia in this side of the conference in the SEC East. I think it's Georgia's to lose. They're still loaded. I know they lost Stetson Bennett and their offensive coordinator Todd Munkin, but they're still loaded with a lot of depth at every position. And I think Carson Beck will step in and do just fine for them. So I have Georgia winning that division. The SEC West was a little tough for me to pick, primarily between LSU, who won the West last year, if y'all recall, and in Alabama. I'm going to give a slight edge to Alabama in winning the West. LSU could definitely win it. You got Jaden Daniels coming back as the quarterback. Alabama, of course, lost Bryce Young, and it looks like Jalen Milroe will be the starter. But I think Alabama, it's the same with Georgia, just depth everywhere. We'll see about their receiving core. If their receiving core can step up a little bit more than they did last season. But if they can, Alabama's going to be tough to beat as usual and expect them to be right there in the mix. So I have a slight edge to Alabama there. I was going back and forth between them and LSU, but I'm going to go Bama in the SEC West. Let's go to the Big Ten and let's pick out the winners of those divisions. Now, in the Eastern side, you have Ohio State and Michigan over there. I'll give a slight edge to Michigan just by default, as we always say with the Big Ten Conference, because the conference is not that good as a whole. But could some teams arise? Well, it's the same questions. Can Penn State be the one that arises? They're ranked number 7 to begin the season, but I'm not sold on Penn State. I just feel James Franklin will be conservative when it comes time to playing uh, primarily Michigan and Ohio State. I just don't see Penn State rising up. Michigan State, every other season they'll rise up, but I don't see much coming from them, especially if that defense doesn't get good. So it'll be between Ohio State and Michigan. It'll probably come down to their after Thanksgiving game, which this year will be in Ann Arbor. And I give Michigan a slight edge there. So I think Michigan will win the East. Over on the West side, I think I'm going to go with Wisconsin here. Wisconsin has the new coach. They have Luke Fickell there. Luke Fickell, of course, was at Ohio State as a coordinator, and then I think he might have been a coach for a little bit. I know he was under Urban Meyer for a little bit, and then of course he went to Cincinnati, led Cincinnati to the college football playoff, and now he is the coach at Wisconsin. I think he will bring a little bit of a different attack to Wisconsin. The running game should still be strong. It always is when we're talking about Wisconsin, but they'll have a little bit of passing game to go with it. And the defense, I think, will be pretty solid. And I think they'll beat out Iowa. I had talked about Illinois with Patrick last week to see what Illinois could bring. They'll have a strong running game. I don't know if their passing game's on par. So it'd be tough. We'll see what Purdue brings too with their new head coach. But I have Wisconsin winning the West. They're part of the Big Ten. Now let's go down to the Big 12, and this one is interesting because, as you can tell, of course, I'm wearing my Texas jersey, and I didn't know what direction to go with this one. But you know what? I'm I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm picking Texas to win the Big 12. I'm gonna do it. This might come back to bite me later on because I've been the main one who has been very, very hesitant to keep realistic expectations. And while everybody is saying Texas is back, Texas is back, Texas is back, look, there is a lot more hope with Texas this year than in previous years because they do have some depth coming back with that top tier. I think Quinn Ewers will show some growth as well with Steve Sarkisian being there for a third year. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Texas. It was a fight because TCU is still gonna be good. I know they lost some people, but they're still gonna be good under Sonny Dykes. Kansas State, as usual, solid. And even that Oklahoma. Oklahoma is going to be improved this year under Brent Venables. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Going Texas to win the Big 12. I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm committed. Going over to the ACC. So, you have two divisions over there in the ACC as well. Uh, I really like Florida State. But I think I'm going to give a slight edge to Clemson. I just have to see Florida State go to Death Valley, Clemson's version of Death Valley, and win that conference, or win that game, and then ultimately win that conference. Clemson has been the team to beat for years now, and I don't quite see a team. I don't really see a team that can come out there and unseat them. They might beat them in the game. Like Florida State might win the game, but can they continue it throughout the season? It's the same story with NC State as well, because NC State has beaten Clemson. I think not this past year, but the year before. They beat them in Raleigh, and they couldn't finish it out to get into the conference, to get into the championship game. So or to win the championship. So I think it has to be one of those things where they can beat Clemson and then finish it out and win the whole conference. I don't quite see that yet. It was tough because at Florida State with Jordan Travis coming back, very very good quarterback there, and some depth coming back as well. You got Mike Nordell, who's done a great job starting to rebuild that program down in Tallahassee. But I'm still going to give an edge to Clemson. And I think Clemson will probably play, it looks like North Carolina in the from the other division, from the coastal part of the ACC. It's I don't really see anybody beating North Carolina there. Drake May coming back, Heisman Trophy candidate. He'll put up big numbers, and if North Carolina can get a little bit of defense going with that offense they're bringing, then it's going to be tough to beat North Carolina in that side of the division. So I have North Carolina winning that, playing Clemson in the ACC championship game, and then I got Clemson winning the conference. Um, that leaves the Pac-12, the last season of the Pac-12 as we know it. The Pac-12 is about to become relevant, obsolete, because 8 teams are leaving. You have USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington going over to the Big Ten. Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State will be going to the Big 12. Uh, so, with that being said, this should be a fun conference to watch because there's going to be, well, there's going to be a lot of offense. Always is in the Pac-12. I guess there's a lot of offense everywhere these days, but a lot of people love USC. USC is being picked to go to the playoff in some of these uh, polls, some of these preseason predictions that are out there. Personally, I don't see it. I think their defense is too bad. USC just played San Jose State and gave up 28 points. So, what's going to happen when they see the other offenses from Oregon and from Washington and UCLA when they play them? I see a lot of shootouts in this conference, 40, 45 points being the norm. And a lot of people like Caleb Williams to win his second straight Heisman. Look, he'll put up some numbers and we'll see how he develops as a passer because a lot of things with Caleb, as you know, I've watched him for 2 years now, just like a lot of you. And I remember what same thing. I mean, he was at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. We know that song. They're gonna score, but they can't stop anybody. And I think the development with Cliff Kingsbury being there as the offensive coordinator is going to be key because he's going to have to win some games from the pocket now. It's not going to be enough for him to out athlete everybody. He could do that in the first season, being in the Pac-12, but now you have um, some tape, some film on him in that conference, and I think they're going to be ready for that rollout to the right. I think there's going to be some blitzes. They're going to be smarter about their blitzes. And sometimes he's still going to get out. He's going to make those athletic plays. But I think that magic is going to run out. And then with the lack of defense USC has, it's going to turn out to be a disappointing season for those people who want to think Lincoln Riley and USC is going to break through and win the Pac 12. So I don't see that. I'm gonna lean toward Oregon. There was a race between them and Washington for me because both of them have their quarterbacks coming back. You got Bo Nix coming back for Oregon. You got Michael Penix coming back for Washington, and both of those teams are loaded with weapons. Um, Utah, of course, is going to be a threat to repeat as the champions of the Pac-12. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon here, and I think they'll cannibalize each other to the point where there won't be a a team that comes out of that conference. But yes, give me Oregon to win the Pac-12. Now, there, I guess, looking at the not the independents, but some of the mid majors, because you know there's gonna be what group of five conference could or team could rise up, and I got two. I like Tulane. Remember, Tulane was in the Cotton Bowl last year and beat USC and Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams in a shootout, of course, 46-45. I like Tulane to be able to rise up and be a team that might be able to make a push potentially for a college football playoff. I don't think they'll get there, but if there is a team that might be able to do that, look for Tulane to be that team. And finally, the four teams I have going to the college football playoff. Very confident with Georgia being there. They're pretty confident with Michigan being there too. So the simple fact they play in the Big Ten, if they win that Big Ten, they'll probably be an automatic lock. The last two teams was very difficult for me to pick because could I have gone with Bama? Again, I was going back and forth with LSU. Could Florida State or Clemson come in there? Could Texas be in there? Um, I think Bama will be in there. I think there will be two SEC teams going to the playoff. And oh my gosh, uh, I do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Texas will be in there. Texas will be in the college football playoffs. So there you go. I have Texas, I have Bama, I have Michigan, and I have Georgia in there. I am going Texas. I'm representing it. I'm going with it. Oh boy, please don't let this come back to bite me. But yes, I am going with the Longhorns. Hook 'em horns, baby. They are going to the college football playoff this year. They will break through, and now people can actually say they're back. Not before that, though. Ever before that. But I think this will be the year they break through. I'm buying it. Let's go. Let's go. Hook 'em horns, burnt orange. Let's go. So, I hope you like this episode, this Breath of Fresh Air Shorty. That is what I am breathing on for today. Please give me your opinions on my picks and who y'all think will win these conferences and be in the college football playoff. Like I said, Patrick Brackett should be in with his Shorty. come Thursday or Friday. And until then, everybody, let's get ready for this season. Enjoy this season, and we will talk to you soon. So, hope you enjoyed this show. Y'all take care. Have a great Tuesday.